What's good, squad? It's the big homie, SB23, back at you with some more words of wisdom. Today we're going to talk about moving in silence. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, SB23, Chosen123 on YouTube. Those are both my channels. You'll get these gems on both channels. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for stopping by, hanging out with me, soaking up the knowledge, spreading it to whoever might need it. I'm hoping that you're having a good day, and I'm sending love out your way. So, moving in silence. This is key to life because you never want to let the right hand or the left hand know what the right hand is doing. In other words, when you got some sort of motion or movements that you're making, you can sabotage your own progression by letting other people know what you got going on. Because if you're surrounded by the wrong types of energies, or the wrong people who don't really support you or have your back, they can try to deter you from moving towards those things that you are working on, or even maybe take your position, you know, depending on what it is. So let's say if you're at your job and you're working to level up within the company that you're working at, you know, and you want to get to another position. Well, let's say you tell a fellow coworker about it, saying like, yo, I'm working hard here. I'm really trying to elevate to a manager position, or maybe you might want to be the CEO, or you might want to be the leading consultant when it comes to marketing, or whatever it is that you're working towards. You could tell somebody, and they could try to swap your vision and your goals for their own, you know what I'm saying? And they might go as far as sabotaging you to get to where you're trying to go. So they might make up some scenarios within the workforce, or they might spread some sort of rumors, or whatever the case may be, and you might not even know what's going on. You might not even know where this is coming from, but the whole time it's coming from the person who's sitting right next to you, who you're confiding in, you know what I'm saying? So that's why you got to be careful with what you speak and the things that you tell other people about your goals and aspirations, because they can come through and put a obstacle in the way, or completely just destroy your whole momentum altogether. And it could be out of, again, jealous. Maybe they're jealous. They want to get to your position, but they see like you're getting more favor within the workplace, so they want to take your spot. Though they want to leech off of your energy, and they don't want to see you win. Though they don't want to see you above them in some sort of way, even though you might not be looking at it as you're above them, even though you might have or you might be working towards a higher status or stature within that company. But you're still looking at it like, okay, you might even be looking at it like, okay, if I make it to this position, then this is the person who I'm confiding in, who, you know, I talk to on an everyday basis. I'll try my best to help them to reach and bring them up to a different level too. But this person ain't even knowing that that's your plan from the get-go. But they hear your plan and they feel some type of way, and now they want to sabotage you so that they can get to the position that you're trying to get to, with no thought of helping you at all, because they want to see you stuck where you're at, and they want to feel like they're in a higher position than you. You know what I'm saying? And that goes across many different scenarios. It doesn't have to be just workplace. It could be in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? You can have a relationship with somebody, and let's say you have some goals and aspirations that you're moving towards and that you're working on, and that person could low-key be feeling some type of way that you not only are moving towards that stuff, but you're doing something that maybe they don't have the confidence to do, even if it's not that they would go after the exact same thing that you're going after, but just the fact that you're willing to put yourself out there and not feel any type of way about how people think about you and what they say about what you're doing, all you're focused on is completing the goal that you have set in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how people feel about it, or, you know, whatever the case may be. You just set a goal and you're moving towards that goal. And just by that alone, you know, if you're not with the right person, they can see you moving and doing the things that you're doing and feel some type of way about it, and then try to talk you out of it, because maybe they see, and they might even know, like, yo, this person, they could see your potential to reach your goals or do what you say you want to do, but that within them itself can scare them, because they want to keep you in a certain position so that they can have you to themselves. You know what I'm saying? They might not want to share you with the world in whatever way it is that you're trying to, you know, build yourself up or build your business up or whatever it is that you're working on. You know what I mean? They might feel like, okay, if you reach your goal, then eventually you'll just leave them and replace them with somebody else. But they don't even know that your whole goal is to reach this point so that you can make life better for all of it, you know, everybody that's around you. You know what I mean? So you don't have no even thought of leaving them at all. You're really doing it so that you can bring that person with you along the journey, and y'all can both benefit off of it. But they might get scared because of that. You know what I'm saying? They might be scared that you might decide to up and leave them. They might feel like, okay, if you do reach your goal, then what if other people come into your existence, and then they might feel like, oh, you're gonna think that this person's better than me, and then you'll leave me. So then they'll try to sabotage whatever you got going on, or talk you out of it, make you believe that you can't achieve something just because of their own fears. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you got to move in silence a lot, because when you start to tell and talk too much about your stuff, that's when things it won't go the way that you would like it to go. But if you don't let too much of the stuff that you want to do be known, and you just do it, then it'll come to fruition faster, because there's no negative energy stopping that positive movement that you're putting out there. You know what I mean? So, and that's what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about positive movement. I'm not talking about being sneaky and doing dirty stuff behind somebody's back, because you're gonna get exposed when you're moving in those types of ways. But when you're just being keeping to yourself in order for your goals and aspirations to not be affected by anybody's doubts or ill will, then that's what I'm talking about, so that you can reach your goals and hit your mark the way you want to hit it, without anybody planting anything in your mind that you can't do something that you set out to do, or that it might not be good for you to do that, or whatever however they feel about it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are working within their own feelings, you know, so they feel some type of way about what you're doing, but that's not a you thing, that's a them thing. You know what I'm saying? So don't let those things overtake what you want to do within your life. You know, do what you want to do, move how you want to move, so that you can acquire the things that you want to acquire in this life. Another reason to move in silence is you know, being when everybody knows your business, it's like it makes you kind of uninteresting. You know what I mean? When you're a person who just talks, and everybody kind of knows what's going on with you, it doesn't leave room for somebody to try to figure you out, because you're just putting it all out there to be seen or heard, or whatever the case may be. You know, those people who are out there and they just tell everything about themselves, it really makes you feel like they're kind of shallow, because it's like you don't have nothing that you keep private to yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that you got going on that you aren't just going to tell everybody about. You know what I'm saying? What is it? What is your reasoning for telling your business to everybody that you come across? You know what I mean? So whereas if you got somebody who's more introverted, you know what I'm saying, and they stick to themselves and they move the moves they make, you know, they make these moves kind of by themselves, really not that often hanging with groups or, you know, surrounded by a lot of people. That makes that person more mysterious and more interesting, because you want to kind of figure out like what they got going on. You know what I'm saying? What is it that they're doing within their everyday life. You know what I mean? What are they really up to? You know what I'm saying? That creates intrigue, and it's attractive too. Like, for my fellas out there, if you want to attract women, that's a good way. Be mysterious. Don't be straight out up front telling all your stuff or trying to show off all the time. You know what I mean? Keep some things to yourself. You know, you got to keep them guessing. They have to want to investigate and see what you got going on. So that mystery is gonna draw them in. You know what I'm saying? If you're just out here saying everything and telling all your business, then there's nothing mysterious about you, and you're gonna become uninteresting after that first initial contact. Because even if they are, let's say, attracted and interested in you at first, eventually it's gonna fade pretty quick, because there's nothing below that surface level that you put out. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing to uncover. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that is interesting besides whatever it is that you're trying to boast about. But when you have high self-esteem and really good confidence within yourself, you don't have to say a lot of stuff. You could walk into a place and it could be a whole bunch of people, and you could be sitting by yourself in your own confident energy, and you could pull more women than the guy who's in the corner, you know, making a bunch of jokes and trying to show off and stuff like that. Because women see those types of guys consistently on a daily basis, but it's rare for them to see somebody who's so confident that he's willing to stand on his own by himself, not in a group of dudes, you know, and not trying to show off. He's in the doing his own thing, you know, not even really paying attention to nobody else, you know what I'm saying? Just doing his own thing, moving about in his own way. That's really attractive to women, you know what I'm saying? And they pick up on that energy, and it makes you intriguing, and they want to come figure out what's going on, especially if you are put together too. You know what I'm saying? If you got your body's right, if you are dressed nice, if you smell good, and you're kind of like moving around, not trying to impress anybody, that right there is very attractive to women, and they'll be drawn to you. You know what I'm saying? You won't have to have a pickup line or show off, or, you know, do all that extra stuff that you see a lot of dudes doing to get to garner attention from women. You'll get it naturally, because you're that mysterious guy who they maybe have never seen before, or they have seen before, but every time they see you, there's something about you that they want to figure out. You know what I'm saying? Why are you different from all the other guys? You know what I'm saying? So that's a good way to stand out, by staying to yourself. You know, it's funny how that works, but it actually does work that way. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing, you know, moving in silence, doing your own thing. And then when you pop out with different energy than everybody else. You know what I mean? So it's hard to deny, and you'll naturally just attract those type of women to you, who want to inquire and see what you got going on within your life, what you do, you know, the things you're interested in. You know, you won't even have to talk much, because they'll be interested in you. So they'll be asking you questions, and you can just sit there and be yourself. You know what I'm saying? And they'll naturally be attracted. So yeah, those are a few reasons why you should move in silence. You know what I'm saying? If you're working on your goals, you don't want those to be interrupted, or somebody to try to take your goals and make them their own. So, you know, don't really mention anything about what you got going on until it's done. And then when it's done, then you pop out and, you know, maybe you talk about it, or you market it, or whatever it is that you got going on. But during the process, it's better to move in silence, so that, you know, you don't have a bunch of sabotagers coming around trying to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. And again, if you are, and this is for men and women too, it's not for just men, but again, I'm speaking from a man's perspective. So, but also if you want to, because even for me, like, I'm into the more mysterious women, so I'm not really looking at those women who are out there and feel like they need to be center of attention. You know, I'm more attracted to the ones who are comfortable being by themselves and have something mysterious about them. You know what I'm saying? There's something about them that catches your eye. You're like, oh, this one moves different than all the other ones. So then you want to go figure out what it is. It's the same thing. It's literally the same thing on both ends, whether you're male, female. It's the same thing. That's a great way to be naturally attractive, you know, by being mysterious and moving in silence, moving in your own space and not trying to garner a whole bunch of attention. Well, it will actually garner you a whole bunch of attention. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the world works. It's like whatever within this world is almost the opposite thing that creates whatever it is that you're trying to garner. So and that's not to say that's what you're trying to garner, but I'm just saying in general, it's usually how it goes. It's usually the opposite thing that has the effect of whatever it is that, you know, is being portrayed. So again, you would think that somebody who was more extroverted and boastful would garner more attention, and they are going to naturally garner attention, and from people who are similar to them, yeah. But again, that fades because, you know, they kind of throw everything out there right off the bat. So yeah, they're going to garner the attention maybe more quickly, but it's going to fade quick too. To whereas like somebody who's more mysterious is going to be like, yeah, you might not garner as much attention right up front, but once people start to notice you, it's going to be hard to deny you because now they're invested and they want to figure out what it is that's going on. It's like think of it like a movie. Like when you get into a really good movie, it's not those movies that give you everything up front. It's those movies that kind of suck you in. At first you're like, I don't know. It's like, yeah. But then once you get into it, you're like, oh no, yeah, I knew it was something about this movie that made me want to watch it. And then once you start watching it and things start unraveling, that's when you're like, oh, this is getting really good, because you're starting to piece things together and you're finding out more things as you go, as opposed to it just being all up front. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I'm painting the picture, is like that. You know what I mean? Moving in silence is beneficial towards you, so that you can sustain what you need to sustain without any outside interference. And also it is a great way to be attractive to the opposite sex and sustain some interest within them. Like if that is if somebody approaches you and they want to get to know you and then you find them attractive also, that's a good way to retain their attention by not giving them everything up front. You know what I'm saying? So that's just some words of wisdom from the big homie. I'ma holler.